All right, how's it going, everybody? It's Drew Peoples from Peoples Collectibles, and check it out. We got a double feature here, three times, three packs, and basically the story behind this is I walked into my local game store called Your Local Game Store over there in Mint Hill, North Carolina, and just went to see what packs they had. They actually had Final Fantasy Collector Pack, but in Japanese it was $100. So I was like, fuck no. And other than that, I mean, everything else, you can find pretty much anywhere else. Stuff like Aether Drift or any other set that's come out in the past few years. They don't have really anything vintage or anything there. But this is one that always sticks out. Now, this was a product, it was released beginning of 2022, shortly after Innistrad Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt came out. The initial reception was pretty lukewarm. There were two reasons in particular that I remember. One being that they kind of lied. The press release for this, they were, it's kind of like a cultivated draft experience. They made it sound like they were going to really think about which cards they were picking and choosing between Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow and putting in here, and doing that specifically to create a good draft environment. But really, they just added those two sets in their entireties together, and made everything the same kind of black font. So people just found it, to be like a lazy cash grab, especially with the price as it was. I think it was like twice the price. With the thing being that you get two rares, two foils in every pack. Woo! But what I will say, and what I do like about this product, is the fact that the only places that I've really seen it is at card shops. And so, for example, we have this right here. And these are the remnants of just a single pack that I bought from another card shop, one that's not even a WGN store, just a tabletop game store where I used to live on the other side of town. All right, let's see. Maybe the foils I put in here too. All right, so we have Blade Stitch Scab. Oh, that's actually a halfway decent foil, eh? Like, I mean, a half lord. But yeah, it's still kind of cool. And this, Dreamroot Cascade. I got a land too. Okay, cool. And I don't know what the other foil was. It's not in here. Okay. Did not realize I got a dual land. I mean, those dual lands aren't crazy expensive or anything, but obviously, I mean this variant of these cards is kind of the most sought after, especially the foils, of course. I mean, that's a pretty cool looking Evolving Wilds. But as you can see, yeah, I mean, it looks a little lazy in some ways in the way that they did this, but time, I do think, has been mostly kind to this product. I'm still a little confused why they did Innistrad Remastered, because basically, like, so this set came out, right? And now every January, they do the remastered products, right? So it was well, I guess they did Time Spiral Remastered before this, but that was more of like a summer product, I believe, and it wasn't really the same. I mean, it was a remaster of a single block. But then there was Dominaria Remastered, Ravnica Remastered, and then Innistrad Remastered. All, all January releases. I'm pretty sure the first Magic releases of the year. Outside maybe like a Secret Lair or something, but like the first, set release of the year. And wow, I've spent a lot of time talking, not a lot of time cracking. That's why we come here, folks, to crack packs, not to listen to me blah, 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 blah. But no, I thought, why not go into a little bit of a background talking about these packs and why it still catches my eye. Now, they are $10 a piece, obviously not cheap. But I mean, yeah, some of these foils are pretty halfway decent. The fact that you do get two foils, I mean, you never know. And again, this is just one of those things that I like to support local businesses when I can, especially ones that I frequent, keep them in business and all that. So I think that's always a good thing. And like I said, what I do like about this product is the fact that, you can't just find them easily on Amazon. They have boxes on like eBay and shit. I don't know how legitimate that kind of stuff is. I don't really know how exactly the distribution of this product went down, but again, I know it was something that Wizards was kind of like giving back to the game stores for once in a way. Giving them a somewhat exclusive product to get people in the door. And you can argue that it didn't work because, I mean, it's been over 3 years, and like your local game store, I mean, they're fairly popular. There's a lot of traffic that goes through there, and they still have, packs of this stuff. But, I mean, not forever, because, I mean, if, I'll keep buying some here and there when I see them. All right, we got the Reckless Stormseeker for our first rare. I actually quite liked this guy. So he is a werewolf, 3 mana, 2/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. And they have the day-bound, night-bound thing. So we'll look at the flip side, and let's also see what the other card is. Eruth, Tormented Prophet. All right, we'll get back to her in a second. So here we go. The Storm Chase Slasher. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. And then he's a 3/4. So yeah, the Nightbound and Daybound, I know that was a mechanic that people weren't too crazy about. Either it's pretty cool. We got a 3 mana 2/4. If you would draw a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library instead, and you may play those cards this turn. It's a very interesting kind of commander there. And then we've got Join the Dance for our uncommon Midnight Hunt foil. And then I thought there were 2 foils in every one of these. Is that incorrect? Did we get screwed, or am I screwing with myself? All right. 15 cards back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. I mean, there were 15 cards in here. And I mean, that would also make sense with, what we saw in there. Actually, I can't remember. Is this the full pack from before, or is there anything I took out? Let's see, so there's 3 in there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, this is literally the same pack. Okay, so that also explains why the foils are so much. So it is only, in fact, 1 foil per pack from either Midnight Hunt or Crimson Vow. But you get 2 rares, 1 from each, and then the commons, uncommons are also split down the middle. But yeah, I guess with this pack, and straight up, this was like a year ago, I guess I just opened it up and then had just put it aside and forgot about it completely. So I do wonder if there is anything in there that is worth anything. And I do believe I probably also paid around 10 US for that one as well. But yeah, it's crazy how time can change our perspective, you know what I mean? Because I definitely like the artwork on these a lot more now than when it first came out. I was also kind of lukewarm to it and found it to be kind of lazy design. And I do think another part of that is they had the monster movie poster things in the secret layers. So it was they kind of went above and beyond doing something like that. And then this just seemed a bit lazy in comparison. And especially nowadays when you have all these borderless crazy fucking cards in packs, and then this, it's all, this artwork. And then you can get the foil, but it's not there's no even extended art or any kind of borderless or anything. So yeah, Cobble Lancer, Magma Plummeler. All right, Curse of Sunken Faith. I don't know if I've even actually seen this card before. All right, it's a 2 mana or a curse. You colorless and red to play. Enchantment, right? You enchant player. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn or copies a spell, Curse of Shaken Faith deals 2 damage to them. All right, I mean, that would be a cool card to play against a storm deck. Basically, if you don't have exactly Tendrils of Agony, well, I guess, guess it wouldn't really work that well against a storm deck, because, they could just get Tendrils of Agony, and then they keep gaining the 2 life that they're then losing. So, all right. Blood Vial Purveyor for our Crimson Vow rare. pretty underwhelming. This is a weird card. It's a 4-mana 5/6 vampire with flying trample, so obviously over statted there. So his downside is whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player creates a blood token. So you're giving your opponent free tokens, which then help them with card selection. But this downside also comes with somewhat of an upside, which is that whenever he attacks, he gets +1/+0 for each blood token defending player controls, right? So your opponent casts a spell, they get a blood token, and then either they have to pay 1 and discard a card and draw a card to get rid of it, or it's going to start fueling him. So very weird card, not very good, but it is what it is. And Ardent Elementalist for our common foil. When he enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. All right, I mean, could be worse, I suppose. It's at least some decent functionality on that guy. All right, we got our third pack here. Can we get anything? It seems my pack from a year ago is currently doing better than anything we've got over here. But again, I mean, I don't know the full market on these cards. And again, with the foil multiplier can be kind of insane. But of course, it's going to be for cards that people really want and not random ones that I've never read before. But you never know. You never know. Okay, let's see. We got the Stuffed Bear. It's a pretty cool looking card. Wretched Throng. Oh, Kessig Flame Breather. That's a nice one. I see a foil version. I think the regular foil version of this, like from Crimson Vow, I think is like $10. So I don't even know what the foil version from this thing of him would be. But I think even the regular version of him from this set is halfway decent. Because I mean, again, like if the regular foil is like $10, then I would think that a special variant foil or non-foil of him would also be worth something. I think, not 100% sure. Wedding Invitation, that's a fun card. Play with Fire, that's another decent common, uncommon hit right there. So we'll put both of those aside. I remember Play with Fire for a minute was like $3-4 a pop for an uncommon. So those are always ones to keep your eyes out on. Hero's Downfall, downshifted uncommon. I think originally from OG Theros is a rare. One of my favorite removal spells from back then, the fact that you can do a creature or planeswalker. And, you know, when I first started playing, Doomblade was like, you know, one of the go-to removal spells. It's 1 black cheaper, awesome instant speed, but it's only a creature, and it is only a non-black, and I want to say non-artifact creature, with the only upside being the creature can't regenerate, which is kind of irrelevant at this point. All right, what's up? We got Graveyard Trespasser for our Midnight Hunt rare. Not a terrible card. This actually sees somewhat competitive play. Or it did when it was still in standard. Maybe not now, obviously, but still halfway decent little hit there. What do we got? I got so fucking excited. I saw Mythic and was like, Mythic, and it's like the most garbage fucking Mythic from Crimson Vow. 4 mana, 1/3. It's Henrika Domathathy. She is a legendary creature. Ooh, you can build an EDH deck around this card. She's got flying. Beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that has been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature. You draw a card and lose a life, or you can transform her. All right, let's just see what our foil is real quick. Honeymoon Hearse. Yet another card that I haven't seen. Disappointing. Trample, tap 2 untapped creatures you control, and it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. I mean, the flavor on that is cool. I'll give it that. But yeah, the other side of our girl here, she's got flying, death touch, lifelink, 3/4, and for 3, one colorless and 2 black, you can give each creature you control a flying, death touch, and or lifelink, +1 until end of turn. So I mean, not the worst card in the world. I mean, at a base level, you bring her down and then you can immediately transform her. But then obviously, you know, the downside to that still is that she only has 3 toughness on the front side. So your opponent is still able to lightning bolt her in response before she's able to transform. Where, like, you know, you have Graveyard Trespasser here, right? For example, that's 3 mana, 1 less, and it's got Ward, discard a card, which is great. So even though my opponent can also lightning bolt this creature too, they're going to have to pay an additional card, right? So I get a 2-for-1. Whereas Henrika, you know, them playing a 1-mana instant spell to kill my 4-mana creature, that's pretty bad. But anyway, yeah, this is always a set to keep your eyes out on. Like I said, I mean, there's some hits in here because the print run of this was short enough that some of those foil hits are real spicy. And like I said, even some of just the random commons or uncommons or rares, like you never know if it's one that people play in EDH enough, then obviously, like, you know, the primo version is going to be worth something more. So I'll go through these. I think obviously at the end of the day, I don't think I got anywhere close to getting what I put in for those 3 packs back. I think there's probably a little bit of value here and there, but I might post links to anything that I put up on eBay once I get through these. And regardless, I hope everyone enjoyed this, you know, little trip back in time to a set that I'm sure many of you forgot about. And yeah, just remember, have fun out there, and you know, treat people with kindness and all that good jazz. All right, until next time, friends, it is Drew Peoples Collectibles signing off.